Hey guys, welcome to the first 2Magicians review episode. Today we'll be reviewing Magical Egypt Series 1 and Series 2. Egypt, land of the black sand. Its history is both diverse and mysterious. An ancient civilization with primitive technology, and yet they were able to build marvelous structures such as both the pyramids and the Sphinx. In fact, both of these structures make the list of 7 wonders. With all the mysteries surrounding Egypt, is it any wonder why there's so much interest in its history, its mythos, and its persona? For believers in the Bible, Egypt plays a large role in the Moses story. For me, that was where my initial interest began, growing up in the church and watching The Prince of Egypt and movies like it. Some other media influences for me personally include Xena Warrior Princess, and, most importantly, Stargate SG-1. For those that aren't aware, Stargate follows the idea that the pyramids were actually landing pads for giant pyramid-shaped spaceships that belonged to an evil alien race who posed as gods, which would be one explanation for the Egyptian pantheon. As you may know, some circles hold a kernel of truth to this. It garners the question, were Egyptians aided and taught by celestial beings? Or are they, in fact, descendants of an even more ancient civilization with advanced technology? These are just some of the questions surrounding the mystery of Egypt. Magical Egypt, based on the research of the late John Anthony West, explores these mysteries of Egypt and dares to ask the questions normally considered taboo or so heretical in nature that most Egyptologists dismiss them, even with the evidence staring at them in the face. Today I want to give my review and thoughts on the series, what they did well and not so well in presenting their arguments about the true nature of ancient civilizations, one truth being that there may even be a common ancestor for them. Another truth concerns their technology and an understanding of science and esoteric mysteries that far surpass our own. In fact, I might even argue that we are only now beginning to catch up to these mysteries presented in Egypt. Magical Egypt is a docu-series with 2 series. Series 1 was first released in 2001. Series 2 was around 2017. Series 1 explores the traditional taboo science and history of Egypt following the research of Egyptologist John Anthony West, who also hosts. He leads us on a tour of the past and presents quite compelling evidence that, contrary to what the history books are saying, Egypt and her people have a much older lineage than originally thought. Series 2 explores more of the esoteric and science of ancient Egypt and other similar ancient civilizations through the medium of art. If art is believed as being the window into the soul of society, it is indeed the looking glass into which we see a society's true representation of their beliefs and the ways in which they see the world. This series would argue that the ancient civilizations were more advanced than we thought. In both seasons, they make reference to not just Egypt, but multiple ancient civilizations, and their uncanny similarities, seen not only in their art, but even ritualistic practices. There's evidence connecting both the Western and the Eastern modalities of magic and alchemical practices originally thought separate, but in reality are connected. Does this point or infer a common ancient civilization, maybe Atlantis? Or, as the Dogon believe, alien visitors, teachers? What Magical Egypt does well is providing strong evidence using the scientific method to show and give credence to their claims. They pull from multiple sources and researchers from different backgrounds, each providing a piece of the puzzle that shows the total picture. And on a personal note, I kept my Amazon app open the entire time because as the researchers presented their research, I was writing down books, And I was even writing down the books for the researchers themselves, the ones that they wrote, for further reading at a later time. I'll be sure to post a few in the description box below. Even with as much as I enjoyed this show, it wasn't without its issues. In Season 1, be prepared for lots of ambient noise and sound editing issues. It was very difficult at times to understand what was being said, even turning the volume up all the way. I watched it via theoccultchannel.com, and there were no closed captions that I could rely upon whenever it got difficult to understand. There is a DVD box set, and I'm not sure if closed captions are available there, so I can't speak to that. And there were, at times, very interesting ways in which the story was being presented. In both series, there were lulls in information and evidence being presented for minutes at a time, showing only images and people walking through gardens that really didn't seem to be relevant to the overall story. The music chosen for background is also extremely minimalistic in quality. It's ambient and repetitive. And what this was doing is it was, instead of setting the mood, it was making my eyelids quite heavy. And what irked me the most about the whole thing was that it never came to a conclusive statement. It never ended up saying because of A, then B. It left the answer wide open. And unfortunately, it just seems so far that the research was done merely out of curiosity and only for expository reasons. My hope is that in the promised Series 3, there might be a more conclusive arrangement to be presented. However, I will say that the information and the arguments being presented were quite compelling and left me eager for each new episode, along with a pot of coffee in my hand. Overall, I really enjoyed Magical Egypt, both series. The information presented is amazing and really makes you question your place in the universe. I highly recommend it for anyone who has an interest in such things as the beginning of esotericism, the Prisca Theologia, or even just ancient civilizations throughout the world. And right now, you can go over to theoccultchannel.com, I'll post a link in the description box below, and purchase this series. And not only this series, but 3 other series that are related to the subject for only $109. Currently, right now, we are watching a series called The Great Work, which is included in this pack. And right now it's extremely interesting, and I'm looking forward to providing you with another review video of it. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Boop!